Welcome back to War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and we are here on July 15, 1943. So, middle of July, cruising right along, past mid-year. So, if I want to get some things done before 44, I'm going to start running out of time here. But we have all of 44 to do some things as well, so we'll see. All right, we get one patrol boat, so that's cool. I mean, they have ASW, but I mean, I'm sure it's carrying some kind of fuel or oil. Sorry, or supplies, probably supplies. Anyway, it might not be carrying anything. All right, this is a night raid here on Bangkok, so let's push through this. He has less fighters flying, and we actually are finally hitting targets on the ground now. We get a runway hit. Let's see what more can do. Probably not so much now, because for some reason we didn't have to fight very many the first wave, but now he has a full complement of aircraft, and most of our aircraft strayed. So, oh, we get two of these patrol boats. Now, these are slower, like basically converted cargo ships. So I can buy that. They're small though. So they're probably harder to hit, just sheer size. But I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but I look at them as like a small cargo ship with maybe some are set up with some weapons, including depth charges. Man, we've been targeting that I-123 a lot. Now I have some ASW assets heading up there, and when I say that, I mean ships. And so hopefully we can take that thing out. Yeah, just the usual damage. Nothing amazing. And we are hitting Pegu again for the second day in a row because I just wasn't content with the damage we did the first wave yesterday. But it looks like a lot of these aircraft are... Okay, let's see if we can damage some oil here. Seriously? Oh, there we go. At least one. Alright, well, let's push through this. So we shoot down a couple of Tojos. He only had 12 capping there. We get 23 of our B-17s in, and we do 5 oil hits. Alright, B-24's coming in. Alright, this time 8 oil hits. Nice. We won't get any strategic points for that because that's not home island stuff. But if we can damage that oil, That limits what he can carry back to Japan. And I want to get more damage into a lot of these bases. I can target Surabaya now. That's one of the it's going to be extended range, but I still can do it. So I'm going to look into that. Um, all those canceled missions, I think, look like what do I want to call them? Recon missions. Hey, that's an effective counter battery there. Oh, a deliberate attack. How are we gonna hold? How do we do? Let's. I guess let's skip this because this is just about. Okay, 1-to-1. Um, let's look at this. So he's gonna require a lot of supplies to rebuild all this stuff, but I'm sure he has it, and we don't, to repair all of ours. All right. Okay, that ends the turn. I will take a moment to look at, uh, well, some brief losses and maybe a quick recap at Balikpapan, and then we'll go from there. All right, I took the liberty of upgrading these destroyers that just arrived. For some reason, they arrived mid-July without having the July upgrade. I thought that was a little strange. I know it takes 8 days for them to refit, but I am going to move on without them because I've got a stack of destroyers at San Diego to meet my carrier and see, we just got another light carrier. I think we're going to be in good shape. So this is what I'm talking about. I want to bring over these two ships. We don't need Baltimore in a separate task force. And we've got basically a decent force of air carrier aircraft, 150. That's not bad. And we can head to San Diego while those destroyers are refitting. That's fine. I don't need them this moment because we have a stack of destroyers waiting for us right here. And I can grab them and meet them, make sure they're okay. Then we'll escort them to Australia and meet up, or somewhere in the Southwest Pacific, meet up with our buddies there. The rest of our, I guess I've heard it called Death Star. Anyway, also a recap on Balikpapan. I don't know how accurate this information is because we don't have recon flying here, but it looks like we did 9 damage. I'm going to take a break. See, the detection is terrible. I'm going to take a break though because this is extended range and I do not want to keep doing that like with heavy air assets. But what's cool about this is we are in range of Surabaya, only with the Ds, not the D1s. We have one of these that can fly all the way to Surabaya. Anyway, I do not want to overuse and abuse our heavies, and start losing them or have them sit in maintenance for days and days and weeks. So we'll be very careful with what we are doing, and I'm only here just to point out that our night bombing was not as effective as hoped, but we did do a couple of bombs hit here, but it looks like there's no damage carried over because it was probably so minimal and his engineers repaired it immediately. But if we look here, we can see we did very little damage overall. We lost 6 and he lost 13. So we lost a lot of ops losses. And if we look at the day, he probably lost, look at all these he lost just trying to defend his air base. Well, the Tojos, I think he lost over Balikpapan and the Oscars over Bangkok. And then he just lost a Dino to Flak. We lost a bunch of different things for different reasons, including a recon. I'm not thrilled about any of these losses, but when am I, right? But lost a C-47, no surprise there. This is a surprise, but it's probably due to the intense action over Balikpapan. And then unfortunately, we lost some bombers over Pegu. Pegu, this is intense right here. He's got a lot of flak, and he's not afraid to use it. All right. Well, I am. You know what? While we're here, I might as well show you. We lost only one pilot killed. That's okay. Uh, it's better than more than one. And then last turn we lost. We sank one. I was hoping two of these. I only heard one sink. The other one may, but it may not. I just don't know. It's possible that it just didn't hit the right spot and he's gonna sneak away. Don't forget, we got a torpedo into one of our subs and it survived. So he could get a torpedo into one of these and potentially survive. Now he can only carry 1,000 cargo, but that's really nice to have a ship that can defend itself as well as this, and still carry 1,000 cargo. I'm envious of that option, but it is what we have what we have, and we'll make the most of what we have. And he's trying to. I'm sure he's trying to make the most of what he has. Um, but yeah, that said, I just wanted to, since we're here, look at that. And yeah, let's move on to um, July 16. All right, it's July 16, 1943. Let's get into some action here, right? I'm sure everyone is anxious about what's oh, there we go. So we had one dud, but the second one, oh no, four. So at least one dud and some a miss or two, and then, anyway, whatever. That sinks. Tuna, yay! Okay, so we're just starting to I mean, we're just basically, as I've already complained about, our sub has, oof, two probably direct hits. Ouch. This may go down, guys. But we got a torpedo hit. Let's see if we sink that. Not yet. Okay. Was that two torpedoes or four? Two. One dud, one explodes. That should sink. Oh, please. Okay. Thank you. I was gonna say, come on, you're a Dutch sub. This is what you're made for. Oh, nice. That should go down. Two torpedo hits, heavy fires, heavy damage. This is a task force that's leaving Balikpapan. So these are laden with cargo, and when I say that, of course, liquid cargo. But this should sink. The other two got away. That's unfortunate. We can't hit all of them. All right. So the way the engine works is you're not going to torpedo more than one ship per action. So that's the downside of these the mechanics here. The moonlight was high, so we're just gonna bomb until the moonlight goes back down, and hopefully we have some success. In the meantime, we're probably frustrating the heck out of him with the air battles, but we actually hit a Tojo on the ground and one runway hit. But the interception is keeping us from being more successful, I think. I think we would be having higher accuracy without the interception. Now, that said, we're getting thunderstorms, so yeah, that's not ideal. These Oscars shouldn't be able to do much because they don't have really great guns. Well, that was our night raid. I'll probably go through another day or two of that, or I should say night. Yeah. Man, that was a lot of ASW attacks. Well, we'll have to take a look at the tuna and make sure we successfully get back to base because I really need to give that um, yeah, give them some awards. I've got subs all over the place. Now, they're not always successful. We've seen some really bad situations here. But we've got some covering the Bonin Islands, some covering the Marianas. Um, I'm trying to blanket the area. Okay. All right. So the Hato and Kari are escorting these three cargo ships, and we fire torpedoes at one of them. I can't remember. Oh, the Hato. Four torpedoes. Of course, small and nimble ship, we can't sink it, and we don't get any of the cargo ships. We take one hit, hopefully a glancing blow, and we can get out of there. Hey, we damaged a Jake with our submarine flak. All right, we're spotting something up there by Darwin, but it's all blue, so I can't tell if it's anything. Now that I-123 is stubborn. Well, you can tell now we're going after Pegu again, and then we'll probably target Rangoon shortly after because he's rebuilding these bases very quickly. All right, I didn't fly the X squadron today. I wanted to give him a little bit more rest, but we'll pick a target. Oh, I forgot to put escort here. That I won't make that mistake again. Oh, I thought this AM would survive, but nope. We heavy fires that should sink. Oh, Wu Chang. I'm not gonna cap that yet because what are the odds he's gonna just hit this once and change targets so that we don't. He probably doesn't want to chance it, and give away what is his, um, get into such a. Ooh, lost another Blenheim 5. Um, I don't, I don't like having to fly so high. I mean, already we're at 13,000 when we drop bombs and all right, we're bombing the resources here at Makassar. Just 2 hits. Just bad aim. Well, thunderstorms, I guess, doesn't help. And these are flying from Darwin and extended range. Just bad weather all around. I think if we're bombing a target, it's guaranteed to be bad weather. At least right there. Maybe around it is perfectly clear weather, but the spot we're bombing is terrible weather. Um, we're just not. We've been bombing the I-123 probably like 10 times here in the last 3 days or 4 days. Let's see if we survive. Oh, okay. So I did have transports coming in. All right, we have P-38, so we just need to put them into action. We're gonna cover this base with some P-38s. All right, so he misses all around. He's flying from Monado. I'm sure of it. I mean, anything beyond that would be like a major stretch. He's flying at 1,000 feet, so very low to get in there. We'll have to fly our. Ooh, that's gonna go down. Yep, especially now. Um, we'll have to get our P-38s to fly low as well. See if we can ch chase these guys out of here. All right, the Gimpy sank. That's sad. I don't know how many points it's worth, but it's sad because I was that well, it was unexpected. Plus, when I say it was unexpected, I should have flown Cap anyway, because knowing those amphibious ships were coming in, those landing craft, I certainly should have been covering them regardless of regardless of those minesweepers. All right. Trying to think. I've got some escort carriers in the area, but those are going to be for a different thing than covering that dot base. Okay, so see if we get some reinforcements. Certainly, we won't get as many as we got what yesterday or the day before. Um, well, a couple things, right? Some of this stuff is transfers as well. Okay, I may be able to save this submarine. It all depends on probably a lot of factors, but we are running away. The downside is we can't repair it at ADAC properly. Um, Pearl is 84 hexes away, and we can let's see, Prince Rupert is 83. What I probably will try to do is we have no, we don't have a repair ship here. I'm gonna try to get a repair ship here. I may have one on the way. No? Wow. No repair ship, huh? Um, well, that's not ideal. We just we don't have any repair ships available. That said, do we have one here? Um, well, what I was going to say is if we have a repair ship here, maybe that would be good enough to repair what we have coming back from, well, the tuna. But I'll probably still go to ADAC. We'll park there. We'll do the best we can to repair it here. I probably will need a repair shipyard, but I think it's better to go here and repair some of the damage, especially because we can zero out the system damage before we go to Prince Rupert. Because otherwise, I could beeline to Pearl, but that's a long ways to go straight ocean. And this is only 41, so it's half the distance. And then we can park and wait for park and repair some of this stuff. Well, yeah, that's crazy how much damage this took. The speed is very slow. It'll basically take um what it may take 6 weeks. I mean, if it's going literally one per day, it's gonna take 6 weeks to get home. All right. I don't even know if there's anything in the ops to talk about, but for those of you who are interested, I'll pull it up and we'll kind of knock some of these out, and you can of course pause and take a look at more detail if you like. Um, and the VMF, and this is a night fighter squadron. Marine Night Fighter arrives in LA. We're going to try to get that in the front lines. I'm going to move the transport squadron to the front lines, and just got a couple of small boats. All right, let's look at the losses here. It's less than I always worry this is going to be high, and sometimes it's as high as I expect. Now this time it's lower than I expected. He's losing 21 aircraft here. All right. So 15 Oscars. He probably has plenty of those to work off. And then, but I don't know if he's losing pilots. Also, uh, if he loses, 10 of these a day, that's kind of high. But look at this. He's lost 15 Oscars and 71 all campaign. Um, Let me look at something for a second. All right, so he has different Oscars. The 1C is the one we've trashed so much, and now he's working off the 2Bs. That makes me, want to look at something. 3 Sallys, a couple of Tojos, and a Mavis. The Tojos we had on the ground there at Bangkok. We lost a B-17F. Dakota 3, of course. Gotta lose the token air transport, and then Blenheim 5, which we saw go down. Did we lose any pilots? No, yes, of course. Probably the Blenheim, and then a wounded pilot or crew. Last turn. We sank 4 Japanese ships. We lost the Gimpy, but he lost more and better things. So this was carrying 8,000 oil, I believe, I bet. Or maybe fuel, but in any case, one less tanker to move stuff around. And this is a good ship. It moves pretty good clip and has decent endurance. So that's a good casualty. And the rest of these are pretty good as well. I certainly will not complain. All right. Okay. Well, just for old time's sake, see if anything else shows up here that anybody's interested in. Um, so I am thinking, which is dangerous. Bangkok. He still has a lot of stuff here, although that doesn't mean he won't move it or can't move it. Of course, he can. Um, but I don't see any damage, so it's easily, quickly repaired. Um, Look at all that. If I could just get some, my heavies are just, I don't want to waste them on ships, you know? That's like, I'd rather bomb the airfield than those ships with the heavies. I'm talking about like a day raid or something. Okay. Also, if I look down here, this is where we lost the Gimpy, which is unfortunate. So this guy doesn't need to be escort. Your boy sank, so he just stay here. Um. All right. And we can give it one. All right. So just keep an eye out here. And I would like to get my P-38s. Escort. I like to do 60-40. Um, I'm going to drop it to 5 just for now. I'll take a look at his. Now, I'm over the limit here, so I'm just going to drop off like probably. I need to rest my heavies anyway. I like to. Let's just for now stand these down. The Fs, okay? Now we're under I may stand well, everybody's already stood down. All right. In fact, what I might do, I'll tell you in a second. Let's find this bombing raid. All right, let's see if, am I too far? Nope, I am not too far. See, we have storms every time we bomb, and he has clear skies every time he bombs. No, that's not true because just below here is moderate rain. But anyway, it was a slight exaggeration, right? So they're flying in at 4K, they bomb at 1K. So I'm comfortable with 5K. And I just want to make sure that everything's okay. We're using drop tanks, so we won't have any crazy problems with that. I do like to turn that to 0. I don't want them to go outside of this hex. I just want them to focus on covering this. And this should unload quickly, I hope. That's my hope. That's why I used these landing craft, because they're supposed to unload quickly. And hopefully we shoot down a bunch of bombers tomorrow or today, the 17th. My carriers are in the theater, but I do not want to give it away, and there's no reason to jump up here and cover that. We've got P-38s just for that. But I was, shoot, I'll have to find my escort carriers. They might be here, and they're not. But I'll grab my escort carriers. Oh, I think they're parked at Manus because I want to use them at Manokwari instead. He is bombing from Manado. Um, I'm worried about him spotting us from Babel Daub. And so anyway, I'm going all over the place. I'm going to just show you there's really nothing, again, I know, nothing to talk about just yet. We are gearing up for enemy talk. As we go west, and I was just talking about it, we are in the process of Manokwari, and likewise, we're in the process of Ambon. We've got 3 key targets that we are going for. And with that, the escort carriers will be in this area, as well as we'll be using a battleship bombardment group. This area we're going to be doing the same thing, but because we're close, I say this area, Ambon, because we're so close to the airfield, we're going to use, let's see, that's 8. I think the P-38s are the only fighters that can reach. So we will be bringing more if we need them, and I don't have a problem bringing more. So the more the merrier, right? So we're gonna bring all the fighters we can, right? All the P-38s we can right here. We're gonna just cover that like crazy. But we also will have carriers in the area stationed, such that if he decides to bring Kido Butai, we will be able to counter it. What I may do, because Manokwari is here, is I may park them, somewhere off, somewhere in this area, so we can cover both. Now the problem is if he stands here and bombs, I mean this is a long ways away, right? So I don't know how that'll work, but also the hope is we can unload quickly. That seems crazy because I doubt that's they don't ever unload quickly, especially the support equipment and things. Um, but this is just unloading some extra engineers, so nothing to see here. Just leave us alone. We'll be out of your hair in no time. Um, so um, just a few more engineers because we just have a very few here. We are building up the forts because there again, I just want to make sure he's one of the things is it makes it more defensible if he bombs us, and that's what I'm hoping there. And it is jungle, so that'll be good. All right. So yeah, again, P-38s here should cover that just fine. And I may bring one more P-38 group right now, but I'm gonna have to test and make sure that the stack level isn't gonna get too out of whack. This is supposed to get up to level 9. Oh, now that the port is maxed out at 4, we can get the airfield speed up the process of getting this to 8, I mean 9, and then we can once it's 9, it doesn't matter how many groups we have there operating. Sky's the limit. All right, no pun intended. We are still shuffling some troops. We got the 5th Indian marching south. I think this is almost fully upgraded. We just need a Humber 1, but that's fine. I don't even have it set to upgrade. I'm okay with the Daimlers, at least for now. By the way, that reminds me, you know what? Let's look at that real quick. Daimler 7522. Why would I upgrade to the Humber 1? Oh, I get it. They're supposed to have the Humber 1. The Daimler is an upgrade. We're not supposed to have yet, but they snuck them into that division, so we'll take them. While we're here, Japanese aircraft. Um, the Key 43. Okay. The 1C 305 199. 341, 273. Wow, these are way better. Maneuver is less, but that's fine. There's still higher maneuverability than a lot of my aircraft. One armor, wow, that's nice. This is a good upgrade. He skipped the two A's and just went straight to the two B's. That was very smart. That looks like the smart choice. Climb 2820. This is just a superior fighter. 371 endurance, 1102 load, so I guess it can carry some bombs. I'm going to click it here in a second. But the gun value is 6, right? So these are amazing for dog fighting with the maneuver and stuff, but they're just not designed for shooting down heavy bombers. Um, they can carry two 250 kilogram bombs, and they can go with the drop tanks. They can go probably pretty good distance. Where do I see that? So with drop tanks, they can go 12 and 14 hexes. The Japanese fighters are pretty amazing, actually. Um, so yeah, he has these uh, well, I was gonna say yeah, basically half-inch cannons, but only two of them. So yeah, that won't shoot down a heavy bomber. But anyway, it might damage it enough to get an ops loss, though, so that's possible. Well, we have to deal with these, but fortunately not in uh, dogfighting, not yet. But anyway, we're shifting some troops still. Got the 11th East African almost, well, we're probably 2 to 3 days away from here. Once we get here, we'll speed up because of the road. Um, and then I want to get here and then rail all the way down to Tungu and then march. Once those two divisions are in place and we buy out this one, I need all the pieces to be ready and in place. We need 300 more, and we're getting 50, so that's at least 6 days. This is going to take a lot more than 6 days, but once it gets here, we'll rail it and then marching. I think it'll take a couple weeks because of the marching here, rail, and then marching. I think 10 days to a couple weeks we'll be able to push south. And like I say, I want to get into Rangoon and into Pegu to hopefully tie him down. And you know what? I want to bring the 17th Indian Division into the arena. Maybe I'll bring both of these divisions. Um, Anyway, I'll do that. You don't have to watch me do all that. I kind of want to wrap this video up, so that's why. But just so you know, I'm going to bring a couple more divisions. We'll have some decent strength in these two hexes, and then hopefully force them out. That's the hope. With all this flak, though, I was gonna say we can bomb him to smithereens to knock him out, but with all the flak he has here, it's gonna be dicey. But we'll use the heavies. We'll use everything we got to hit this. Supplies here are frustrating. With all the supplies here at Prome, I'm surprised it's not getting on this road and then being dispersed by rail from bases up here. I don't understand the supply system very well because, again, with the supplies here, the rail here should pull it down, and the nice paved road up here should bring it up, and then allow them to rail and disperse supplies very easily. So I'm just not sure how this is working, but I am bringing as many supplies as I can to Akyab, just unloading tons and tons and tons and tons and tons, literally and figuratively, to get up into here as much as absolutely possible. And I'm going to need all the supplies I can get for these offensives, or else I'm going to, cripple my own offensive. And then in China, we got tight situation there. Our flak is everything. It's almost like there's a black hole sucking all the supplies out of here in such a way that if you brought in supplies, it's going to go quickly, and no supplies will arrive from any other base either. Um, that's unfortunate. So we have no supplies to share. It's a pretty dire situation. Now, ideally, one might say, well, ideally withdraw to a line here, and I may just do that. I may just give up on this up here. But then that would lose, I would for sure lose Wen Chao if I did that. And I'm not sure I'm ready to lose Wen Chao. Um, but we could always withdraw like uh, all this AV to here, and then that'll be like my fortress. And then see, he has supply. He would get these resources. Um, I guess there's no resources there. Anyway, I would probably hold these. Make my line, maybe even make my line here or here, but just a defensive position. Maybe hold the road. A defensive position that allows the supplies not to have to travel so far. Recover some supplies and then maybe push again. I don't know. That's something worth exploring because I'm just tired of not having supplies here. Um, And these guys are in bad shape. Bad shape. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But again, I would lose Chusien and maybe Wen Chao if I did that. So I'd have to be willing to lose those. Um, well, as we enter 44 and I get some air power in the area, more and more air power, maybe I'll consider that. But for now, let's wrap it up, and it's more or less status quo, and we'll come back next time for this to see what happens on the 27th. Thanks for joining me and have a good rest of your day. Bye.